Welcome, everybody. It is the 12:30 Rowdy class, and we are doing Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons today, and we are in book 366, Songs of the 1960s. Let's hang on. What do we know about this song? All right. Four Seasons did this in 1965. It reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was the group's highest charting spot since they had done Ragdoll in July of 64. So it was an entire year later before they actually had another charting song, and it was this one. Then in 1981, the song was revived by Barry Manilow. Interesting. And that hit number 6 on the U.S. Billboard Adult Contemporary chart and number 32 on the Hot 100 chart. And he did it in the same similar style. Okay, so check that out on YouTube. But the Four Seasons, of course, that is the ultimate. I struggled with this one because when I played it in Easy Play, it didn't sound like much. Didn't sound like now. Dottie just played it the way it was written, and she did a fabulous job. But I actually went on to musicnotes.com and downloaded the original standard notation, and that's where I'm getting the intro, the ending, and a whole bunch of extra notes. Why? Because they really did a nice job. The Four Seasons did a really nice job with this song. They used no rhythm, then they put in a rock and roll rhythm, and then they did a counterpoint where Frankie would sing a melody line, and then the singers would come in and sing their melody line, and then they do counterpoint back and forth. And they did not include that in the Easy Play. So I actually am writing in the extra notes so that we can try to make it sound like you've got the counterpoint singing going on. All right, so hopefully I'm doing a good enough job with it, and hopefully you'll like it well enough to say, yeah, I think I want to learn it that way. If you are not worried about presets, you put it on rock, full band, and I would use the 50s guitar or the electric guitar or the country guitar. Okay, so that's with the smaller instruments. And the tempo is 125. Now remember, you might want to slow it down to get started. Slow it down to get started. But this is just rock and roll. It's still rock and roll. I'm actually using Fab 4. So for those of you that have the Fab 4, and I'm using rhythm preset or vintage number 1, which is that 50s guitar at 125. And I went through and I listened to it, and he puts bells in his orchestra. He's using some bells, and I'm not sure if he's getting them from a synthesizer or what. So I'm putting bells in my lower chords, so that every time I hit a chord, you get ding, ding, you get bells going. Okay? Then at the end of the song, he's also adding horns and making it a little bit bigger by putting horns in it. So I am adding some brass towards the end of the song. And then, of course, I'm using things like duet on, duet off, add your genius sound, add some strings. So not real super hard, but there are 9 presets. Do you need all the presets? No, you do not. If you just find the right rhythm, and you can even use a nice organ sound, and you can never go wrong with a good organ sound. I just thought the guitar sounded the best on this. I'm going to play it for you before we do anything. And try to follow along. I do have the introduction, and then you tell me what you think. Okay. Okay, what'd you think?
I love
Much
the
better than when I
intro. That
played it.
was wild.
Great song.
Yeah, much better.
Okay, all
Great
right.
song.
I
Great song.
worked hard on this one.
You
Okay,
can
It
tell.
shows.
I wanted to make sure that it sounded right.
Perfect.
So I did have to do a lot of writing in because, like I said, that counter melody, that's important. That was important on that second page. And there were some things that were in wrong octaves, and there were some chords that just didn't sound right. So when I actually got the original sheet music for it, it's like, yeah, because it's not right. So I did change some chords. First thing we're going to do, roadmap. Let's do the roadmap first. It's not that bad. While I'm doing the roadmap, I'm also going to tell you where the changing of the presets are. We'll do that at the same time. All right, so A1 is actually the intro. A2 starts in the intro. Starts in the intro with this stuff. Okay. Then A2 continues on the main body of the song. So now we're going to play the main body of the song, all of page 1. When you get to the top of the second page, right there before you start the second measure, that's A3 and A6. The top of the second page, right before that second measure. So we're going to play all of that next page. When you get to page 125, you have a first ending at the end of, oh, here comes Linda. Uh-oh, Kelly wants me to hold it. What's going on? Oh, you are correct. You are correct. Okay. All right, because I said I was going to do presets. So let's go back to page 124, line 4. At the beginning of line 4, you change presets, A4 and A7. Thank you, my bad.
Is that by that G chord?
It's by that G chord, correct, right before that little chip of diamond.
4
then
and
you're gonna-
7.
A4 and
That's
A7. Okay, now we're going to play that first verse. When we get to the first ending, that's at the end of line 2. You're going to make that a color, and that is also where you're going to put A5, right before let's hang. Right in the middle of that measure goes A5. Okay. Now, where are you going back to? Back to the beginning, absolutely.
Back to the beginning. Yep.
Where your dots are.
Yep.
So you're going to play that whole first page. Then your A6 is already written in at the top of page 124. Play that till you get to A7. We've already written it in. Keep going, keep going. All right, now on page 125, you're going to play the first 2 measures of line 2. You're going to skip the first ending and go down to the second ending. So if you want, you can put a colorful 2 right there before the first ending and trace the 2 in the second ending. All right. Now you're going to play the last 3 lines. At the end, you have some dots, and the dots are taking you back to the dots in the middle of the third line. Okay, so you're going to make that a color and make that a color. But the repeat and fade, you're going to cross off.
Well, that's right.
Now, what you're going to do is you're going to play that again, but this time, over the last measure, you're going to put a little, like an ending bracket. And you are going to write on top of it, second time to ending. So the first time, that's actually like your first ending. That last measure, you play it the first time when you go back to here. The second time, you're not going to play the last measure. You're going to play up to on, hang, on goes to the ending. Okay? And then follow the ending. And the ending actually does have its own repeat and fade.
Oh,
And
okay.
on your ending, you will be going to A9.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
sorry, do you know where A8 is? Did we say that
No.
or not?
No.
Third line, second ending, in the middle of the measure, right before let's hang on. That's where A8 goes. A9 is going to be on your ending sheet. It's already written in. It's on your ending sheet. Okay? All right. So yeah, lots of pages.
So it's A8 before the, let's hang on. Okay. Third-
Correct. Second ending, third line, first measure right in the middle of that measure.
Okay.
Dawn, could you explain A1 and A2? Where'd you have them at?
A1 and A2
Yeah,
are the intro,
yeah.
and then it starts A2 is on that intro sheet.
All right. All
And
right.
then A2 will continue when you go to the main body of the song.
All right.
Because A1, and for those of you that got your sheets,
Yeah.
A2 comes first, and then
Yeah.
A1 comes second. Why? Because it's setting it up is easier. You want to make sure that A2 gets set up. Because what is A1? A1, you want the sounds, but you're taking the rhythm away
Mhm.
Oh,
and just
okay.
putting the easy button back on. So when you do that, I set up A2 first. So actually A2 is the rhythm, the drums, everything. And then I took off the rhythm, turned on the easy button, so that all I have is this. And then saved that to A1. So once A2 was all set up and it was all memorized, then I took off the rhythm, turned on the easy, because I wanted all those same sounds, I just didn't want the rhythm. Saved it to A1. Then I went back, pressed A2, and then moved on and started setting up A3 and A4 and all the rest of that stuff.
Don, can I ask you a question?
You may.
Would you explain the roadmap after A8? You play it down to the bottom and then you repeat back up to the C chord, is that right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
And
Where your dots are on line 3,
Right there.
okay, and you're going to play that the second time.
okay,
But the second time, you are not going to play the last measure. So you want to put a little bracket and write second time to ending, because you're only going to play measure 1 and measure 2, and then the second time you're coming down to your ending.
to A9,
This is.
to A9.
Well, now you're not going to A9 yet. You're still on A8. You're still on A8, and you're going to do a line and a half. See, you don't have this yet. You're still on A8 until you get to here, and then you switch to A9. So it's all on this sheet.
Are you
Okay,
gonna play the A in the music, the A note? Or that's on your ending, the A
That's on
note?
this. I rewrote that. Yeah. So
Oh,
let's, between us, hang on, hang on, hang on. And then I finished it. To what we've got.
Okay.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
So then you changed to A9 in the
Then
second
you changed to
line.
A9 when I did the bum, ba, ba,
Yeah,
ba,
yeah,
ba,
yeah.
when I did the horns.
Ah,
uh,
Okay. There's a lot of stuff in this song. If we do not get everything done, we can finish it up next week. Because there are a lot of changes in this song to make it sound. Questions so far?
Let's see. So A9 is your ending. Not play that last.
The whole ending, A9 kicks in halfway through the ending.
one.
You're
Okay.
still on
Okay.
A8. You're
Yep.
still on A8 when you play the first part of the ending.
Oh, okay.
And then A9, okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to play the second ending. I will play the second ending, okay? where it kicks into A8. So then I'm going to do let's hang on where the in between the dots. So I'm going to start there. Back to the dots. A9.
Okay, I got it.
Make sense now?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I stayed on A8 until I finished to what we've got. Doo 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 doo. You got to get the doo doots in there. And then when the horns come in, that's all written in on the ending.
Right.
And I've got A9L written in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little confused. I started putting this in, memorizing it. So I put in the first one as A1. I put in A1 as A2. And the
No,
rest of the song,
no,
I know.
you-
The rest
You
of
have
the
to
song
start with
is no rhythm.
A2. Set up A2. I'm glad you asked that. I did not make a mistake. I did not mess the numbers up.
Well, I don't count that way. I don't.
I know that, but you have to set up A2 before you can make
Okay.
A1
I'll just
sound.
do a little
Right.
up and down. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so set up A2 first. Memorize it into A2. Then you're going to set up A1. Turn off the rhythm, Fab 4. Turn on the easy button. I want the same sounds. I just don't want drums and the rhythm.
Okay, Dawn, say that you've set up A1 and A2, but
Mhm.
you play A1 first and then A2, right?
Correct. I played
Okay.
A1 first.
All right.
Yes, I played A1 first, but setting them up, you will set
Yeah.
up A2 first, then you take off some stuff. Now you save that into A1. Now, what does A3 say? What's the first thing it says? Press
Press
A2.
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 Yeah.
Press A2, and now we'll continue and we'll keep setting stuff up. Mhm.
I played the whole song on easy. I'm going to something wrong.
I see what you did.
This took me some time, but I will
Sounds
tell you the
good, Beverly.
background was not the hardest thing. The background, you can play it on rock full band, pick a guitar or an organ, and Dottie actually played it exactly as written, and it didn't sound bad. It sounded fine. So do not feel like you have to do all of these. But why do I do these?
Because they're fun.
Yeah, right.
Kelly's
learn our
sitting here going,
organ.
because she can.
Yes.
Right.
To learn our organ.
To
Very
learn
good.
your
Right.
organs, correct. To learn what the buttons do on your organ. We could actually spend the rest of the day just talking about the sheet. And like I said, we're probably then going to run out of time for the chords and for writing in all the extra notes that I wrote in, because I wrote in a lot.
Mhm.
Mr. Kelly, go ahead and ask your question. What is HVA? That means go up an octave. Yeah, I am going to have a lot of that too, because I changed octaves. Mhm.
Dawn,
Yeah,
I'm with you on everything. When you press easy, then when you return to Fab 4, and that is in A3.
well, you press
A2.
A2 and then you get it.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you
Yep.
got it. Okay.
If you press A2, now you continue. And you
Okay.
just press A2 first and then make your changes for A3, which would be
Okay.
lower
Oh, I
tabs.
see. I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So what did I do different in, here's what A2 sounded like.
Good drums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I added in A3 a lower tab. And I changed it to bells. And I searched all the bells. And bells, regular bells is fine. But I actually settled on bells ... repeat number 495. It's all here. And that way, when I play, you hear it? Hear the bells?
Yeah.
So it just makes it a little more authentic. Once I'm playing the melody, they're a little more subtle, but they are there.
Interesting.
Hold on, I got to check something because I may have missed something on here. A2. Yeah, I did. Of course I'm going to. Oh, no, I got it. Mixer. Turn your lower volume all the way up to the top. Okay, I did get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you need those bells to sound. So you got to make sure your graphic mixer has that lower sound all the way to the top. Now, if you've got a smaller instrument, don't worry about it. They're subtle, so just put it on rock full band and go. Don't worry about it.
Dawn,
Yeah.
I've lost A4 and A7.
A4 and A7 are on page 124, the second page, the beginning of line 4.
Yep, I see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
Dawn.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, on A3, you say press A2. Okay, I did that. Now it says lower tabs, add genius sound, bells.
You have a lower tab on your Grand Marquee that says lower sound.
So but that's on.
Yes, you want to change the sound. If you press it and see what it says. What does it say in the window?
Nothing. If I press the red lower tab, which is on now, it's red. If I press it, nothing changes in the window.
Is it on bells already?
I don't know.
Shouldn't be. It should be like a piano.
I don't know, but nothing happens in the window when I press it. It just
When
a
you
light.
press the lower sound, it should come up in your window and tell you what sound it is.
Yeah.
And it probably says piano.
Okay, I was pressing the lower tab. It's lower sound.
Lower sound.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it says guitar acoustic.
Okay, we're going to change that.
Okay, so now I go to home and I go to the keypad and I just push
Correct.
495.
Correct. Press 495. There it is. Touch
Okay.
your lower sound,
Okay.
and it'll change it to those bells.
It did. Okay, thanks.
Yep. You're
So
welcome.
amazing to me.
See, you learned one thing about your lower tabs today, or your lower sounds. Now, the reason I have genius/sound is because it's different verbiages on the two different organs. All of your A organs, which are your Sterlings, your Prestiges, your Imperials, Patriot, Liberty, those all have a lower genius. Then your Inspires, your Rialtos, they all have a Grand Marquis, Marquis Aria, etc. They have a lower sound. So one is called genius and one is called sound.
How about on the Stardust?
On the Stardust, it should just be called lower genius.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking right at it. It should, yeah, it's lower genius, and it's in your lower tabs. What do your lower tabs actually apply to? This is your
Lower
lower
left.
chord sound.
Right.
So whatever you're playing in your lower chords, that's that humming sound. So if you turn off the rhythm and turn just your easy, what you're hearing is your
I know.
lower tabs. Right? Everything that's in your lower tabs, you are hearing in your lower chord. And that's why I'm putting the bells so that every time you play, a chord, you're going to get the bells. That's what your lower tabs are about. I have a question. Where I start? Oh, we haven't gotten to that point yet. Okay. Okay. I marked his book up for him, so he's jumping the gun. That's right.
He is, right.
Yep. Okay, now, yeah, I don't know what to do next. Let's do. What do you want? Oh, okay. Let's do some extra chords, okay?
Yeah.
Because some of the chords that they have in here, if any of you have tried to play this, you're probably going, that chord in line 2 doesn't sound. Did anybody do that?
Yeah, but it was easy. The CG, 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 CG all the way.
Yeah, except I'm
Couple
going to change some
AMs.
stuff.
And a couple of BMs later.
Yeah, but the A in line 2, did that sound right to you?
No.
No, because it's not the right chord. All right, now it's C, G, C, G. That's not how it went originally. Originally, the C came in a little bit later. So the easiest way that I could do it to make it work was to cross out the first C and make it a G, gorilla.
Okay.
Dawn, are you in the second line?
I'm on line 1. Line 1, let's start right from the beginning. Good call. Let's hang on. First full measure. Cross out the C and replace it with G, gorilla for beat 1. Beat 2, which is in between your G and G, put in a C, chicken. And then you have the G chord for beat 3. Second measure, we're going to do the same thing. Cross out the C, replace it with G, gorilla. Beat 2, that's over that quarter rest. Put in a C, chicken, and then go to your G. Line 2, first measure. Cross out the C and put a G, gorilla. Now I know you're already on G. I don't care. This makes it a lot easier to play by doing it this way.
Mhm.
So cross out the C and put a G, gorilla for beat 1. Beat 2, which is actually over the D eighth note, put a C, chicken, and then your G. Cross out the A and replace it with D, dinosaur. You're going to play a D chord for the whole measure.
Mhm.
Okay, so what am I actually doing? You're going to just want to do finger patterns. Finger patterns. G, C, G. G, C, G. G, C, G, D. Okay? Don't
Dawn,
try to match the chords with the notes. Your
I have a
chords,
question.
go ahead.
First page, where we are now, second line and second measure.
Right.
You say cross off the A, put D,
Yes.
and then you want us to do D again?
You can or you don't have to.
Okay,
Doesn't matter.
okay, thank you.
You can play the D twice if you want. Doesn't matter. Because if you've got the
Oh.
bells on, it's going to be kind of cool to play it twice anyway.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now, it's finger patterns. Make sure your chords are steady. Steady, steady, steady. Then this hand, don't worry about the timing. Play it the way you know it. And don't worry about matching chords with notes. Play it the way you know it and it's going to work. So you want to do these finger patterns. At 125, you're going kind of fast. G, C, G, G, C, G, G, C, G, D.
Mhm.
So if you have to practice that for a while, just do it. G, C, G, G, C, G, G, C, G, D. And if you do that, it's going to make the whole song be a little bit easier.
Now, let's go over that second line again.
Second
you
line.
Knocked out the AM?
No, the AM is fine. We haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay, okay.
Yep. No, the AM is good.
Okay. GCG and GCD. Okay.
GCG, 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 change the A to a D. So you want that finger pattern. G, C, G, G, C, G, G, C, G, D. You got to get that finger pattern in there, and then all of a sudden you're going to go, wow, because that is the main beat of the gist of your chords.
Dawn?
And remember, you're starting on beat 3 with the let's hang. And don't worry about what this hand is doing.
Mhm.
Don't try to match the notes in the chords. That's the one thing that I found messed me up big time, is when I tried to match notes and chords. If you play a couple extra notes with this, it doesn't matter, but the chords have to be steady. And just practice that for a while till it gets comfortable. And then the chords, I gave you all the chords already? No, I didn't. Okay, so the A minor is good, the D is good. Let's go to line 3. The B minor, you may put a 7 on it, D, A, B, or just play D and B. The E minor is good. Cross out the D, line 3, measure 2, and make it an A minor, alligator minor. Next measure, over the A for the word on, put a D dinosaur. And then beat 2, put a no chord. NC, N dot, C dot. Okay, so that section. Okay. And again, the chords, keep them steady. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1. No chord. All right, line 4. This is where you're going to add the doo-doots. Okay, but you got to put some chords in there too. So, line 4, beat 1, put a G gorilla, chords, these are chords. Beat 2, over the quarter rest, put an A minor or an A minor 7, C, G, A. Then you go back to the G, beat 4, put an A minor 7, or just A minor, doesn't matter. Second measure, beat 1, put a G, gorilla. Beat 2, put an A minor or an A minor 7. Beat 3, cross out the C and put a G. So you're going back and forth. G, A minor, G, A minor, G, A minor, G. 1 per beat. Or if you've got the bells on, and that's kind of tricky because that thumb has to bounce. So just work that until it gets comfortable. And what are you doing in the right hand then? In your right hand, you're going to be doing the doo-doots. Okay? And those are double notes. So beat 2, right hand notes. You're going to play ah on. Then you're going to go to your doo-doots. Beat 2, under the A minor chord, you're going to have C-A, chicken over alligator.
Where are you, Daun?
I'm on line 4, measure 1.
Oh,
Okay.
measure 1. After the ED.
You're going to play the ED,
Uh-huh.
then you're going to do the doo-doots.
Did you start over, Dawn?
So what notes are in the doo-doos?
Underneath it, in beat 2, underneath your A minor chord, you're going to have a C-A, chicken alligator, on top of each other. Underneath the G chord, beat 3, B-G, butterflies and gorillas, stacked. Beat 4, under the A minor, C-A, chickens, alligators. Beat 1 of the next measure, B-G, butterflies and gorillas. Beat 2, C-A, chickens and alligators. Beat Beat 3 under the G chord, BG, Butterflies and Gorillas.
So
But when you're
there's
going fast, they do come in fast, and it does take a little bit of practice to get them, especially when you're doing chord, 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 chord.
there's nothing in beat 1?
Beat 1, you have the E and the D.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the next measure, cross it out and throw it away, the whole measure. Bye!
Including the chords.
Correct.
You mean the third measure, right?
Yeah. Cross
Okay.
out measure 3, the last measure on the page.
Okay, I got it.
Cross it out, chords included, and throw it out. Get rid of it.
All right.
Top of the second page, the first measure and the chords. Cross it out and throw it away. We're going right from the doo-doots to the verse.
Oh, so the whole
Okay.
measure.
Ah. That's just filler space. Now, if you need it, if you need the filler space, go ahead and play the chords and play some fill-ins. You do some of this, do some of this. It's not needed. It's not how the song goes.
So you're saying cross off the chords and the measure.
And the measure, just throw those two measures of rests away. We're going to go from the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo right to the verse.
Okay.
Okay? So remember, you have to go to a new preset. So be aware of that. You're going from the doo-doots to a new preset. Okay. The chords in line 1 are fine. The G is good, the D is good. Let's go to line 2. Cross out the C chord and replace it with A minor, alligator minor. Second measure, cross out that stupid A and put a D dinosaur. Whoever thought that chord was going to sound good there had no clue. And then you can play that next D if you want or not. You can throw that one away too. And the A minor is good. Now the counterpoint notes, I don't know if we have going to have time for those. We might. Let's just do them. Let's just get them in. Second line, third measure. You've got an A minor chord. Your notes are C, B, A, right?
Yep.
Now, the last A, you're going to put in parentheses because you may not have time to play it. Because starting in beat 2, you are going to be playing the counterpoint notes. What are they? So straight up from the A note, you're going to write a high A. Right next to it, you're going to come down to a G, the first space above the staff. Those are eighth notes. You can connect them by a flag. Then go back up to an A for beat 3 and come back down to a G for beat 4. So those two notes will just have stems. I wish you'd. Let's go to the next line. The D chord is fine, but we're going to write in some more notes. We got to finish the counterpoint phrase. Top space. Put a G gorilla. Quarter note. Beat 2. F sharp or sharp F, because usually in the right hand they put the sharp sign first. Top line. Sharp fish. Beat 3, where that quarter rest is, E elephant, where that with a stem, top space. So it's G, F sharp, E. And the words are never said. I wish you'd never said.
Now, those are individual notes, right?
Correct. Those are individual notes.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. Second measure, the A minor chord. You may put a 7 on it if you wish. Let's do the individual notes. All right, you're not going to have time to play the last A because you're going to go up to, again, the high A. Copy what you just did. High A in beat 2 on the first line above the staff. Going to a G gorilla, the first space above the staff. Connect them, they're eighth notes. They're individual notes, correct. You're not stacking them. They are one note at a time. Beat 3 is a high A on the first line from above the staff. And beat 4 is a G gorilla, the first space above the staff. So A, G, A, G. Oh, oh, no, we'll both regret it. So the next, we got to finish our phrase. Line 3, third measure. The D chord is good. So play the D chord. G, you're going to write beat 1 is a G gorilla, top space above the staff. Beat 2 is an F sharp, sharp fish, top line. Beat 3 is an E elephant, top space. Beat 4 is an F sharp or a sharp F. A, G, A, G, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. Oh, oh, no, we'll both regret it.
Dawn, you
Question?
said F sharp, E, and then what's the last one?
F sharp.
F sharp.
Going back to the F sharp. Oh, A, G, A,
Yep.
G, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. Any questions before we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
When you told us to put the A in parenthesis, we still play that, right?
No, if you're going to be going up to the high A instead.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
See, the high A comes in at the same
Of
time.
course.
If you've got super long fingers and you want to go da da da,
Right.
because they
Cross it
technically
off.
are at the same time, but they're both the same note, just in different octaves. So nobody's going to miss it.
Oh, I see. I see.
You didn't even miss it, did you?
No.
Yeah, I did not play either one of those last days.
Okay.
Didn't even miss it.
Okay.
Because when you've got the two lines going at the same time, that's what made this a little bit harder. Because you had to pick and choose which notes are more important.
Right.
Okay, the next line is easy. The only thing we're going to change is measure 3. We're on line 4, measure 3. Change the chord. Cross out the C and change it to an A minor, alligator minor. Next line, cross out the A and replace it with D dinosaur. And you can play the D twice if you want, or you can just play it the one time, doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? All right, now we are going to repeat exactly what we did up here on this last line, but let's walk you through it. The A minor, you may put a 7 on it. Don't worry about it if you don't, not a big deal. But la, of, in that second measure, cross out the A or put it in parentheses, and directly above it, we're going to do the counterpoint melody. A on the top line above the staff, the first line above the staff, A alligator, beat 2, coming down to a G gorilla, first space above the staff, make them eighth notes. Go back up to an A, first line above the staff, for beat 3, make it a quarter note. Beat 4, come down to a G, gorilla, top space above the staff, A, G, A, G. Next measure, the D chord is good. Don't worry about it. It's perfect.
Oh, Dawn,
What?
okay, doing that last measure, or the one measure, A, G, and not another G.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay, fine.
Right under, right underneath the D chord. Beat 1, you want to put another G
There we
with
go.
a quarter. Put a
I
stem
was
on it.
waiting
It's a
for
quarter
that
note.
G.
Beat 2, put an F sharp, top line on the staff, F sharp or sharp F. Beat 3, put an E elephant, top space. And then it's supposed to go back to an F sharp, but we're going to skip that one so we can come down and play the A and the B. So I said they overlap, yet I had to pick and choose which ones I wanted to play. So I'm just playing the... Okay. So instead of that last F sharp, which goes in beat 4, I'm coming down to play the A, which is the beginning of the next phrase. So we're going to play the A and the B. Let's go to the top of the next page. Put the A, beat 2, in parentheses. Straight up, beat 2, put a high A, counterpoint melody. High A on the top line, up the first line above the staff. Coming down to a G, first space above the staff. Connect them with their eighth notes. Beat 3, A. Beat 4, G. Measure 2, the D chord is good, but let's finish the counterpoint. G, F sharp, top line, E, beat 3, top space, F sharp, top line. So again, you're playing the same thing. Okay, now here's where it gets a little tricky. Last measure. You are going to write over the G chord 8VA. So now we're going to play that A note that's there an octave higher, so that we're running right into the notes that we just put in.
Oh, I see.
Makes
play
more
the
sense,
G
doesn't
note.
it? So 8VA for the next two measures.
Okay.
The last measure of line 1 and the first measure of line 2.
Did you say 8VA or
Eight.
AV?
AGA.
8, as in 8, the number.
Okay.
8VA. That means you're going to play that A note an octave higher.
Okay, thanks.
But we still play the G.
You still play the G chord, correct.
Right, okay.
But you're just playing that A note an octave higher. Then you're going to play 3 lead-in notes. Okay. Don't you know? And again, that's your counterpoint melody. So beat 3.5. Just write 3/8 notes at the end of that line. You're going to write in an E elephant on the top space, an F sharp on the top line, and a G gorilla in the top space over the staff. E, F sharp, G.
And
But
that-
remember, those you're playing in real time. The A and the G you're playing in octave. It'll flow when you start playing it. But
Now,
you
what
just-
measure was that, Dawn? Was it the last measure on the first line, or?
Correct.
Third
Okay,
measure.
fine.
Third measure on line 1. It's
Yep.
A, G, octave up, and then you're going to do your counterpoint melody, E, F sharp, G, at the end of the line. Now we're going to line 2, and that A and G are an octave higher. Don't you know, baby? It'll flow together with your hand. You'll feel it. Cross out the A chord at the beginning of line 2. Those stupid A chords are not good in this song. And replace it with a C sharp diminished or a C sharp diminished 7.
Diminished, okay.
C sharp diminished is C sharp and G. And if you're playing the full fingered chord, it is C sharp, E is in elephant, G is in gorilla, B flat, flat butterflies. Chord sounds much better.
I'm sorry, Dawn, did you say B sharp as in boy sharp?
No, C sharp as in chicken.
Oh, C
Chicken
sharp.
sharp diminished.
Okay.
Chicken
C-
sharp diminished. C sharp, sharp chickens, and G gorilla.
Okay. Thank you.
Dawn,
Yep.
when you added that E, F sharp, and G at the end of the first line,
Huh?
you put that loco. Why wouldn't you put it down the bottom and just continue your
You could have.
APA?
You could have. You actually could have. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought of that too after I had done it.
okay,
Oh, Mona's suggestion is actually very good. You can actually write the E, F sharp, and G lower so that when you're reading it, it looks, everything goes up the octave. Okay, now, here's where I want you to write it in real space. We're going to do the E, F sharp, G again. Line 2, first measure. Right after you play that G note, you are going to put in 3/8 notes. E, elephant, write small, there's not a lot of space. F sharp on the top line, and G on the top space above the line. Now, the next measure is tricky. You got to almost memorize what your fingers are doing. The A minor chord is good, but your notes are all bad, so you're going to cross out B, A, G, A, G. Cross those out. You're not going to use them. Throw them away. You're going to play a high B. Then you're going to play a high A.
This thing was going on.
Then you're going to play another high A. So you're going to actually play 3 notes. B, A, A. And I just wrote them above these notes because otherwise you could actually use some of the notes that are there, but then it would look really super mixed up. So just take those notes, throw them away. And beat 1 is a B, high B. Beat 2 is an A. Beat 3 is an A. B, A, A. Bah.
What happens to AG?
You're not playing any of those. You're taking those B, A,
Right.
G, A,
Oh,
G.
you're not going to replace them.
Cross them out.
Okay.
Cross them out.
I did.
You're just playing B, A, A.
Okay.
First ending, you're still an octave up. So 8 VA for the first ending. And I actually did full fingered chords. Stay A. I'm emphasizing stay A by playing a full fingered chord. So underneath the 2 Ds, which you're playing an octave up, you're going to put an A, F. D, dinosaur, A, alligator, F, fish. I'm sorry, it's an F sharp. D, dinosaur, A, alligator, F sharp. And do it 2 times in a row. D, D.
Okay. Okay.
And-
Could you say that again for me?
The first ending.
Yes.
You're underneath the D, you're
Yes.
going to write A and F sharp.
Okay.
So you're going to play 3 notes at a time.
Oh, okay.
Then you're going to do it again in the second D. D, A on the second space, F sharp on the first space.
Oop.
F sharp on the first space, yes. Yeah, because then you kick into your A5, and you're going to stay on the higher octave. Or not. Put it where you want. I just played the whole next verse in the high octave. Yeah, see, we're way late. That's all right.
Are you talking about line 3, the start of line 3 there? You're going to play at a higher octave?
Nope, I'm talking about the first ending, the end of line 2.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Now, let's go to line 3. You want to do the first, actually, yes, you're gonna play the rest of the song, 8VA.
Oh, okay.
Okay? The rest of the song, 8VA. But you're going to do the same thing with the D, D. You're going to go D, A, F sharp, D, A, F sharp. Then you're going to go to A8, and that kicks in the horns. Okay. Now we got to just fix some chords here. Remember what I told you at the beginning of the song? You wanted to do G, C, G, G, C, G, G, C, G, D. We're going to do it again. All right? Yeah, kind of like cheerleading. So right after the dots, line 3, second measure. Cross out the C and replace it with G. Gorilla. Beat 2, C, chicken. These are chords. And then back to the G. Let's do it again. Third measure, cross out the C, replace it with G, gorilla for 1 beat. Beat 2 is a C. Beat 3 is a G. Line 4, first measure. Cross out the C, replace it with G. Beat 2, C, chicken. Beat 3, G, gorilla. Second measure, cross out that stupid A chord, throw it away, and replace it with D, dinosaur. The rest of your chords are good. And you're just going to play that whole thing an octave up. Okay, I wish I had time to play the whole thing for you now. Last line, no changes.
Yay!
Yay!
I'll just play the last line, thank you.
Yeah! So remember, you just got to get that going, that G, C, G, G, C, G, G, C, G, D. A minor, D, B minor, E minor, D. You go to, then you kick into A9 and do the ending. And the ending's going to be on a lower keyboard. Yes?
Yes, it would be wonderful if you would make copies of your music with all these extra notes and so on, and send it for Patreon and put it on Patreon.
Yeah. I don't think they don't allow rewriting of Hal Leonard music that's been copyrighted to do the whole song. They don't allow that.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes I even get in trouble by writing an entire ending or entire intro. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
'Cause that infringes on Hal Leonard's copyrights. Because I'm
okay.
changing them all up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't do that.
Okay, all
So
right.
you're gonna automatically send us the beginning and the
Yes,
ending.
I will automatically send you the beginning and the ending. Yep, I will. Yep.
Could you repeat one more time the second line, second measure on page 125?
I can.
BAA something there.
BAA are the only notes you're going to play. You're going to cross out the quarter rest,
GAG.
cross out the BAGAG, and you're going to play high B, AA.
Okay.
It'll sound right. Let me play starting at C6. Let me start the top of page 124. This is the second time through. All right, and then you can hear and watch what I'm doing. All right, so we're on A6 right now. Okay. Give you an idea of how that went?
Very nice.
You have to really make sure that you're just reading the right notes. You almost have to memorize which octave you're in and just follow the notes and let your fingers do the walking. Let your fingers do the walking. I almost thought we would need 2 class sessions for this. Now, what I didn't do is put fingering in, but it's pretty cut and dried as far as what you need to do for fingering. David, I know you like fingering, so if you stop in, we can just copy it down for you. But
What's song for next week?
song for next week.
The letter?
The letter, yep.
Okay.
And I have a feeling that's going to be 10 times easier than this one.
Oh, thank goodness. This is a lot.
Wow, you put some work in this.
I
thing.
did put some work in this. That's because every time I played it, it sounded really terrible. It just was like,
Oh,
I don't want to teach this song. It sounds yuck. So
Did a
I
good job.
worked on it to make it sound good.
Great job.
Take a week's vacation.
Oh, Robert, did you hear that?
Give her a bonus too. It's a bonus.
Whoa. Yeah. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. And yes, you will automatically be getting the ending and the intro.
okay.
So I will send that to you. You guys are the bestest. And I had fun with this. When I finally got into it, I really started to have some fun with it. But I struggled with it. I'm telling you, this was a toughie.
You did a tremendous
Thank you
job.
very much.
Did a
Thank
good
you.
job.
Keep safe.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let me see what's in the chats here. Yep, okay. How to do it without the style. Yeah, okay. Ah! Okay. You guys are cute. Have a great weekend, you guys. Some of you I'll see on Friday.